Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer Nguyen with Gen Financial Solutions Credit Repair Service. And in this video, I am going to go over the basic of credit and the credit pie chart. I strongly believe that when you fully understand your credit pie chart, it will make things so much easier for you in the process of fixing your credit. And with the do-it-yourself credit repair program, when you look at the credit report, basically you just plug in the credit pie chart knowledge to the credit report, and that gives you the whole picture about your credit and how to fix your credit issue. If you have not yet done so, please go to your Facebook and search for the do-it-yourself credit repair forum. And in here, if you have any questions during the process of fixing your credit, please post the question in the group. So this group is there for you to ask any questions, get all the answer, and also to help support one another, because there are people like you yourself as well are fixing their credit, and it's there for you guys to support each other as well. Okay, so this is the credit pie chart. In the US, each one of us has so many different credit score, and it's really depending on what formula is being used to calculate your score. So there are two big credit scoring companies out there. The first one is FICO, so it stands for Fair and Isaac Corporation. This company was established in the 1950s. And then there's a second company, which is called Vantage Score. Vantage Score was established or created by the three main bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Within each of these companies, there are so many different credit scoring model or formula out there. So in each of these. So that's why when you look at your credit report, you want to know what formula is being used to calculate your score. And it also depending on what your goal is. Let's say your goal is to purchase a home or refinance a home. The credit scoring model that's being used is going to be different than if your goal is to buy a house, to buy a car, or to buy an insurance. Depending on what your goal is, the credit scoring model that's being used is going to be different. So within the credit pie chart, so basically the credit pie chart show the components of what contribute to a perfect credit score. And it has 5 different categories: payment history, amount owed, credit mix, length of credit history, and new credit. Okay. The first thing we're going to go over is the credit history or payment history. So 35% of the, so payment history is 35% of your overall credit score. And it's basically calculated based on whether or not you make the payment on time. As you have late payments, derogatory, collections, bankruptcy, it hurts your payment history portion, and it hurts this 35% portion. And these negative informations also stay in your report for 7 years as well from the date that it happened. Okay, so how do you improve this 35% payment history portion? You have to start with making the payment on time. So from the moment that you start your credit repair process, you want to make sure that you no longer have new late payment being added, because the more recent the late payment, or the more recent the negative information, the more it hurts your score. So you want to make sure that you start making the payment on time. How do we help you? So we help you by finding the errors, the inconsistency that's being reported on the report. And then from there, we help you generate the attack letters to remove these negative items from your credit report. The second component is your credit utilization, and this one takes 30%. So credit utilization, basically what it is how much you make, how much you spend versus how much you are allowed to spend. Your credit utilization ratio has to be less than 30%. And so if you have more than 30% of credit utilization, your credit score actually going to drop, because this 30% portion is affected, right? So let's take an example. If you have a Chase credit card, it's supposed to show credit, right? So if you have a, let's assume this is a credit card, If you have a Chase credit card and your credit limit is $1,000, the balance owed is how much you have spent. So you have spent 300 and you have not paid back yet. So now your balance owed is 300. Now your credit utilization is 30%. But if you spend 500, then the credit utilization is 50%. Now remember, if your credit utilization ratio is more than 30%, your credit score is going to drop. Here at Gem Financial Solutions, I always recommend for you to keep your credit utilization between 1 to 9%. If you do this, you will see your score shoot up the fastest. Now, the third component is credit mixture, and it takes 10% of your overall credit score. So credit mixture basically show how diversified you are when it comes to using your credit products. So let's say if you look at your credit report, or if you already know that you only have 2 credit cards, you don't have any loans, then you might want to add some loans, some credit building loans in there in your credit report on your credit file. Or if your file is a file that you have nothing, like everything has gone to collection, basically this I call this a dead file, because everything's in collection, there's nothing open, there's nothing revolving. Then you need to establish new trade line. And so it could be like revolving trade lines plus installment trade lines. So I always recommend that people have about 3 to 4 revolving trade lines and 2 to 3 installment trade lines. Revolving trade lines can be like lines of credit, credit cards, things that you can use, and then as you pay back, it's available for you to use again. Installment is kind of like a loan, any kind of loan. There are revolving trade lines and loans out there that are designed specifically for people to rebuild their credit. And we have some really good recommendation on our website as well. Okay, the next one is length of credit history. So length of credit history is 15% of your overall credit score. So right here it says length of credit history is the average out of all of your credit account combined from the date that this account has opened. Okay, so an example, you have a Chase credit card that you opened 20 years ago, and this is the only credit card that you use, nothing else. Then your length of credit history in this situation is 20 years. Now, let's say this year, you decide to open 4 more credit cards and you got approved for all of these 4 credit cards. Now you have 5 credit cards because you have these 4 approved credit cards plus the 1 Chase credit card, which is 5. And that gives you 5 cards, right? So 20 years since the first card's open divided by 5, now your length of credit history is only 4 years. I know this picture shows 3, it's supposed to show 4. Okay. Another example here. So let's say this same Chase credit card that you opened 20 years ago, and you got several late payment on this Chase credit card at one point. Okay, now you go and you dispute this late payment because you think that the late payment is wrongfully reported to the bureaus, right? In some instances, this caused the whole account to be removed completely because let's say this Chase account has already been closed down. So it was opened 20 years ago. It's still showing on your credit report because it was actually late and gone to collection, or it's late, let's say 6 or 5 years ago. And then it was closed down 4 years ago. Okay. Because the account is already closed, when you challenge or attack the bureaus, and if this attack has successfully been done, the bureaus might, instead of just removing the late payment, they might remove the whole account entirely because it's closed already. So when that happened, it basically wiped out the entire account from the credit report. Your credit score at this point might drop because they wiped that account, and that account has the longest credit history. So 20 years now is wiped out. So it affects that 15% portion of your credit score, right? Now you might have said, well, but it also removed the late payments. That's right. But if the late payment or the collection happened 6 years ago or 5 years ago, it's been a while already. It doesn't affect your score as much as a late payment or a collection that happened recently. Okay, the next category is new credit, and new credit is 10%. So what it is every time you apply for lines of credit, loans, most creditors out there will actually perform a hard credit check or hard inquiry on your credit report, and it hurts the credit score by 10%. I know I have a spelling here. So what happened is the creditor will pull your credit reports in order to see, whether or not you are a responsible purchaser or borrowers. And from there, they make their decision of whether or not to lend you money or give you that card, right? So it hurts your credit score in the 10% portion. Okay, so that's it for the credit pie chart. Thank you for watching the video. And please don't forget to join our group. It's right here, DIY Credit Repair Forum. Thank you.